everyone, back for another review. This time this has been a very interesting year in the people who I've been giving a second chance to. Earlier I gave one to Natalie Portman. I still haven't done my reviews yet for for Jesse Eisenberg. But this time we're gonna go to someone else, Shia LaBeouf, and this is more or less a pseudo documentary for him. And let's talk about Honey Boy.
So let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint.
Honey Boy is about a child actor by the name of Otis being raised by his father named James. And this is a movie where it goes back and forth. The framework of the movie is basically Otis is grown up as an adult. He's a movie star, but unfortunately he's been in trouble a couple of times. He has to go to a rehab center, and while he's there, he's reflecting back on his past. And you see his younger self growing up with his dad and how kind of like his problems started. And in case anyone didn't know, this is written by Shia LaBeouf. He also plays James Otis. He also plays James, Otis's dad. And this is a very personal story. At times, this movie goes about it like it is not only a cry for help, but is also a person seeing their own flaws and putting it on the big screen. I have to give Shia LaBeouf a lot of credit for doing this movie, and especially in the style it's done. It's mostly about his interactions with his dad and the way their dynamics work. Once again, all with the framing device that he is realizing this while he's in a rehab center. I thought this movie was okay. I give it a lot of points for Shia LaBeouf being so forthgoing with a lot of the stuff that happens to a child actor. But I also have to say that this movie is slow as shit. This movie felt longer than both Ford and Ferrari and Dr. Sleep. And those movies had a good hour on this movie. I don't know whether it's the framing device or the fact that a lot of the themes are repeated over and over again. It's a very heady movie, and it also feels kind of weird watching it because I didn't understand what they were trying to get at with the father-son dynamic. There was the fact that the father is a troubled person in his life. He's a recovering alcoholic. God damn it, this is my second movie to do that. Dr. Sleep did the same thing. And then on top of it, he's being more or less supported and supporting his son, who is this child actor, who is the one more or less paying the bill. No, really is just paying the bills. I never get the dynamic of what the point of the movie was. There are scenes where the son would kind of push the father and like throw it in his face that, hey, I'm the one supporting you. But then again, at times, the father was the one pushing him to be a good actor. So I never got if they were trying to say he was a bad father or the son was being a prick. And it really, like, I didn't get the sense of the movie knowing that. It felt like literally someone was having a conversation at a bar with you, where they were just telling you random things and you didn't know exactly where to pick everything up. So that was a big thing for me. Also a big thing for me is the fact that Otis, the older version and the younger version, the older version played by Lucas Hedges and the younger version played by Noel Jodas. I'm sorry if I got his last name wrong. Neither one of them really did anything for me as far as acting wise. They were okay, they were decent, but none of them like really. There was really no acting performance in this movie that really wowed me. That and the fact that it had a very slow pace. The only actor who really did a good job of this was Shia LaBeouf as the father. I really enjoyed the way he would push the child, and like you can see the nuances in his acting and in what he was doing. I just don't think the movie was too focused on which path they were trying to take. Yes, they were trying to show he was a good parent. Yes, they were trying to show that he was someone who is pushing the child. Yes, he's also a bad influence, giving the child cigarettes, teaching him to smoke, things like that. But it never felt clear to me what would, or maybe they were trying to, they never put it all together. If they were trying to show that he was multifaceted, that's fine. Towards the third act of the movie, they did get into another facet, which was the facet of, oh, he's being supported by his son. And that's kind of downing his, that's making him feel like less of a man. But it never felt clear to me. Also, the framing device was fine with Otis being in rehab and trying to dealing with his inner demons, but he really wasn't that compelling. The guy who played him, Hedges, was never compelling as Otis to keep me sucked in the movie, and the transitions were also like really slow. It was just a lot of people either sitting there and talking, or just there are a lot of uncomfortable moments too between the younger Otis and his father. There was a very sweet dynamic with young Otis and this girl who lived in the complex across from his room. And I definitely liked what they did, but at the end, it never felt like it really mattered. Or I got what they were doing with he's finally... It's either something to do with him being around another woman and she treating him right, but it never really put itself together for me. I give Shia LaBeouf a lot of credit for doing this movie. Technically starring it as the father and just putting it out there, and this is stuff that really happened to him as a child actor. But to me, the movie just was too slowly paced, and I didn't get what type of message they were saying between the father and the son. So that kind of it's gonna down my score some. There is some interesting development with a chicken throughout the whole movie, which is why when you look at the logo in Honey Boy, it has the rooster or the chicken's head in the O in boy. That's kind of interesting, and especially as it comes back to the father's what he was good at before. I think this movie needed a little bit more focus, and it either needed to have a better pacing, or it needed to have better acting all around other than Shia LaBeouf. So I'm gonna give Honey Boy a 6 out of 10. This is a very limited release movie. Do you plan on seeing it? If you do have a different opinion than mine, I think a lot of people like this a lot more than I did. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and until the next movie review.